Dr. Andrew Kennedy, who, by the way, answers emails at 12 midnight and answers phone calls at 4 in the morning and is always, always right here and always says yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suzanne. What a great group. Thank you so much for having. I know I can speak for all the physicians. We get a special feeling when we get to be with patients, not sitting in front of us in our office having to deal with the struggle, but just to get to know everything else that you're going through. When we're seeing you, we are paying attention, but we got 3,000 other things about you that are running through our heads. So one of the things I do want to, you've heard it from the doctors this morning, I think that if ever, and I'm going to steal some of the lines I tell my patients, if ever there was a time to do what you do when you buy a refrigerator or a car, and that's check around, doesn't mean you don't like your doctor, doesn't mean you don't trust them, but gosh, if you're going to buy a refrigerator and you go to 4 stores, wouldn't you at least go to 2 doctors to stay alive? And so it's never, ever, ever an offense to a good physician when you say, who else should I see? And so I bring it up to patients in the initial consultation, particularly if it's a very difficult case. I'll say to them, if I were sitting where you were, this is what I'd want to know. Here's what you should be thinking about. Here's what I can do, and here's what I can't do. And so here's potentially 3 institutions that specialize in this area, and I'm happy to make the call, happy to set you up there. It's not that I don't want you to be my patient. I'd be honored to have you as my patient, but this is a journey that you need all the very best information, and it's going to change week to week sometimes. Occasionally they look at me funny like, oh, he doesn't want to be my doctor, and it's not that at all. And sometimes patients say, well, you know, I had to get a friend to drive 2 hours to bring me here today. I can't go to wherever. That's okay. We'll Skype with Dr. So-and-so at Cedars-Sinai or whatever, or I'll send the information to them and I'll come back and we'll have a conversation about it. There's always a way to get peace of mind and get a plan. And as Jim said earlier, it may not be the plan you want, but it's another plan. So getting the treatment you need when you need it. I think Suzanne came up with that title for this little section, and it's a great time to reflect on. There is lots of things as a radiation oncologist I can do, and some of them may be very good for you. Some of them may be just really good for the department, not you. So getting that right treatment, I can't emphasize this enough. Multidisciplinary tumor conferences. The physicians that you heard from this morning, I'm sure weekly, are discussing complicated cases like yours with their colleagues and other specialists. Doesn't mean they're sitting around the same table together. In fact, I do, on average, 7 conferences a week. I don't physically go to 7. Some of them are held outside the country, but I get on a WebEx or whatever. So we are able to get the information we need for you. There are many times when I am absolutely sure when I'm presenting your case that I'm right, I've got the plan, and I'm just wanting my committee members to nod their head and go, yeah, that sounds good. And then I'm sitting there kind of in shock when they go, well, did you think about this? Or I think that's the wrong thing to do, and here's why. And the shock isn't that I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But the shock is, how did I miss that? How did I walk in here with completely missing the elephant in the room? So I tell patients that I'm trusting my colleagues to make sure I don't mess up. They're trusting me to do the same. And if your physician isn't engaged in that, and this is how I would suggest you ask them, do you go to tumor board? Who do you bounce these cases off of? Because we know from all sorts of literature that the patients that have the best outcomes are products of multidisciplinary collaboration. And that may mean in your case that really only other conversation to have is with another medical oncologist, or it could be with a surgeon. So as an example, I see second and third opinion consultations in my practice. And one of the first questions I ask them is, what surgeon did you see? Oh, I've never seen a surgeon. Okay. What radiation oncologist did you see? Oh, I've never seen a radiation oncologist. Okay, well, it's possible your doctor called them. No, they never called them. It isn't that they got bad care, it's that it isn't potentially the best care they could have gotten. So I always tell patients, I'm never going to tell you your tumor is unresectable, whether it's in your liver or in your spine. That's what the surgical oncologist needs to do, just like he should never tell you that I can't irradiate you. Sometimes these are quick conversations that doesn't require you to take a day off work or go to their office. So let me just wrap it up and summarize for you. Absolutely positively feel that it is your responsibility to ask, should I get another opinion, or who else should I talk to? It's not you're going to offend them or it's socially awkward. I personally think it's absolutely the right thing to do. That doesn't mean you don't love your team. Secondly, I think even if the plan is in place that you're not crazy about, but you trust your physician, then it's okay to say, I'm going along with this because I believe you have a good plan in place, but I reserve the right at any day in the future to come back in here and say, I don't want to do this. I think we need another plan. So you're not signing up forever. You're signing up for today. And the last thing I would say is that any facility or any team that isn't giving you that feeling, I don't want to call it a warm feeling, but isn't giving you that deep down confidence, then maybe it's not the right team for you. Could be they're technically wonderful. Could be their plan is exactly right. But it's your body, it's your side effects, it's your got to get up and go to it. And sometimes it just takes a change of scenery to another staff that meets your needs better. And I see this, unfortunately, on a routine basis where patients finally come to our institution and express, wow, your team is providing this for me that I didn't get before, and I had 2 years of really being uncomfortable. And so it's just sad to hear that. So thank you very much for all your courage. Thank you very much for inspiring us physicians to do a better job. Thank you to Yes and Suzanne for all the patients that I send your way every week, because they have nothing but great things to say about the support they get, not only from Suzanne's organization, but all of you that help Suzanne by answering questions. That's all I have.